Here are 11 inspiring quotes from Mark chapter 4, Jesus calming the storm. Father Emmanuel Chibo, in speaking of Jesus, says his interest was not mainly about what his followers would know, but his interest was more about who his followers would become. Angelo Corbanali, in speaking about praying to God during the storms of our lives, says, because sometimes the only prayer that we can pray is to listen. Father Thibodeau says, the problem for the disciples was not the storm. The problem is that they did not have the faith to believe that God would get them through the storm. Father Pratt says, it has to be the love of Christ that forces us, that pushes us, that drives us to do and to be who and what we are called to do and be. Father Fabian Radcliffe says, what are we afraid of now? Can anything happen to us that he cannot share with us? Are there storms today which make us cry out like the disciples in the boat? Don't you care? We are about to sink. Father McLean says, questioning God is good if it leads us from a state of not thinking about God to realization that God is with us, always. Part of that realization is that God would answer our questions in His terms and not ours. Father Andy said, Christian faith is about much more than surviving shipwreck through the storms of life. It's about believing confidently that the journey ends well, and that's a cushion we can all sleep on. Bishop Robert Barron says, find comfort and joy and vindication in the Christ who's gone all the way down, but then rises up to become the commander of the waves. He's the Lord over sin and death, and find your peace in Him. Dominique Galea says, our shortcoming is that just like the disciples, we do not trust God. We have doubt that God cares. Elizabeth Lee says, maybe our faith is to know that God is with us through the storms, and that no matter what the external conditions are, all will be well. Bishop Barron says, Jesus is the very incarnate power of God who can hover sovereignly over even the greatest difficulties of life. Cry out to Him. Please check out gatherclip.com where you can see the full links to all these different resources. And you can view, hear, and read for yourselves the different Christian voices on Mark chapter 4.